Time now for the Pet Project with animal advocate Carol Erickson, the PSPCA, and Marvin. Does he have treats already this morning, Carol?
Yes, he certainly does, because we're going to be talking about food today and the raw food diet that seems to be all the rage for some people, but certainly not for a lot of other groups. And if you think the election is contentious, just don't even get involved in this raw food diet thing with people. Now, many people believe in it. They believe what is the medical community says is the hype on the internet about the raw food diet, the raw meat diet for dogs. It is absolutely something you should not do according to all of the scientific experts, because they weigh in on just how much bacteria is in that raw meat. It's the reason we don't grab a hamburger raw patty out of the refrigerator and just start eating it. And also there's the myth that if you cook it, or rather if you freeze it, that then that meat will be safe. That is not the case, because the bacteria will survive even with the freezing or the freeze drying. The scientific community says it is bad for your dog because of all this bacteria, and it is really bad for the people who are touching that dog, that you too could get the E. coli or the listeria just by touching the food bowls, handling that meat. If your dog licks you, if you pet their coat and they've got it on them, then you are susceptible for getting this bacteria too, which can be just awful for them. So people will say, well, yeah, my dog's coat is so shiny on this raw pet food diet. Well, that is going to be the exact same thing that happens if you cook the meat and you give them as much fat as you'll find in the raw food. So it's something to really remember, that this raw meat diet is a risk to your pets. It is a risk to your health as well, that you can get the same benefits from other dog food. They don't need it for enzymes. The raw meat, again, some of the myths that are out there, and that, well, wolves ate it. Well, apparently dogs and present-day wolves are not the same. They were descended from a prehistoric wolf that is now extinct. So it's not even the same thing at all. So here's the bottom line. Do not feed raw meat to your dogs. Experts, medical, veterinarian, human, say it is not worth the risk for anybody.
That sounds like a nightmare, Carol. Just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But you can find anything online these days, and people will claim they're experts and say they know what's right, but we trust you.
Well, you can find, well, and I'm trusting the veterinary and medical experts who are saying this, and just kind of trying to continue to get the word out. You can find a support for just about any position you want online. It doesn't necessarily mean it's really the bottom line truth. So this is not opinion on the raw meat diet. This apparently is absolute scientific fact with the bad bacteria that you can be and your pet susceptible to. Pennsylvania SPCA, boy, we have a lot of animals there. We have a big cat here. We have the cat Grizzly. Grizzly is such a nice cat, adult gray cat, rescued by our humane law enforcement team from a hoarding situation. He loves people, loves to be petted, has lived with other cats. So maybe Grizzly is a cat for you. And then Brutus. Now, Brutus, very nice. This is an Australian Shepherd mix. He was adopted already, which we're glad to say, but he came in with a whole bunch of other dogs just like him. What a nice dog, rescued by our humane law enforcement team. Same thing as with our cat Grizzly. He has had to be treated in the Pennsylvania SPCA hospital, but he's just fine now. And there are other dogs just like that last dog we showed you, Brutus. So look for that dog as well. And here is Adrian, adult husky, came in through our animal law enforcement team, ready to meet families that can manage his big size. Look how sweet he is, and he's smart. He wants to learn tricks, but he's a good dog. He is a husky, and he is absolutely gorgeous. So read up on the breed, understand what the breed is, and boy, get ready for some adventures.
And don't confuse that husky for a wolf, because he's not going to eat raw meat, okay?
No raw meat. Let's just, no.
Just leave it at that.
Cook it.
Yeah,
Yes,
cook your
exactly.
meat. That's the takeaway today. All right, Carol, thanks so much.